Yeah, I'm fucking back. Kind of late on this, so it's like last minute. I didn't prepare anything, but last time I did this, like, it didn't take long for me to figure this shit out. It took me only a couple minutes, so here I am. Came a long way, man, from the last one. I learned a lot of shit. Had a couple things that I realized I wanted to talk about, just for the sake of structure and consistency, actually. One is the lack of direction and confusion. Two is a solution. And three is like the reality check. Of course, like the tone or like the feeling that I'm giving off is a little like melancholy because that's kind of how I feel. Like I've been struggling with a lack of direction, which is like a breeding ground for confusion and not knowing what to do, which is where the confusion comes in because, I feel like I know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like it's clear what I should be doing, but then there's the fact that I don't find myself consistently doing it, like lack of energy, and lack of focus, lack of like motivation. So it's like, what should I be doing in order to establish myself in a way where I have a consistent source of energy and consistent motivation to do the things that I have scheduled for myself? Maybe it's the prioritization aspect where maybe I'm not prioritizing the right things on the tip of like the order of operations. I mean, thinking, mathematics, making everything add up, make it make sense. I should be focused on the root chakra from the ground up. When you plant things, before they sprout, the roots grow out in order to maintain or establish a level of stability, hence the name root chakra. Establish stability in a way where you can grow up toward your goals or whatever the fuck. So, in and of itself, that in conclusion where it's like, what should I do? And then waiting on some sort of direction or some sort of instruction. It's like that's where you tap into maybe like the archetype of the father, where you find direction and instruction, the masculinity, the logic. You just have to dig that shit out of yourself for real, because that's not inconclusive. So that's the solution. And recognizing what your problem is, just think logically, like what would you tell somebody else to do if they were in your position, and then you do that? That's what makes sense to me. The reality check is, if you know what you would tell somebody else to do in your position, why aren't you doing it? Are you afraid of what's on the other side of if you actually do what it is you're supposed to do? What are you afraid of? Do you think you're gonna lose everything that you have now? It might not even be a think, it might be a no. You may know that you're killing off the version of yourself that you are now or that you have been before as a sacrifice for who it is that you wanna be. You gotta make room in order to receive that version of yourself. You can't receive anything if your hands are closed. What can you receive when your hand is like that, bro? Like, this has been therapeutic for me because clearly listening to myself speak is revealing that I've been afraid of letting go of who I am. Somebody who's been comfortable, somebody who's been spoon-fed his entire life, living off of other people. I'm looking at the people around me, and a lot of these niggas not getting it on their own, and they're misusing people and abusing people and their resources. I think about it on a larger scale. That's what a lot of people are doing because they just don't understand. So then it brings me to a space of communication, being clear about what it is that I want and why, and what I'm willing to give up or exchange for what it is that I desire or want for myself as far as experience goes. Clearing space in order to receive the experience I want to have for myself and the people around me, knowing that this is what is necessary to get to that next place. Everything I'm not willing to let go of now clearly is weighing me down and keeping me here. And staying here could mean the obliteration of myself. So it's like, am I gonna let somebody else or let something else destroy me, or am I going to do it myself? Deconstruct who I am and what it is that I am, my concept of self, and reconstructing it in the image of my desires, what it is I want for myself and why. If I let somebody else do it, then that gives somebody else the power to say that they did this for me. And not to say that that's a bad thing, because, submission is powerful. When somebody or something can do something better than you, I feel like if you want a better quality of living, you can't do everything yourself until you can. But up until that point, I want to be able to deconstruct myself and keep my pride and dignity intact. In the process, I want to keep everything safe. I want to keep everything the way it is. So, it becomes tricky when you start realizing that I want everything that's untrue or destructive or harmful to fall away. And I want the truth to stand. And I'm afraid that when all the irrelevant, harmful, destructive, draining things fall away, what I see standing won't reflect my desires and my true intent. But I guess that's where trust and faith in my subconscious mind comes in, because the only thing my subconscious mind has proved to me is its worth, its value, and that it's worthy of my trust. I'm worthy of my trust, and the lack of trust in myself is evident in my actions. However subtly that may express itself through me, I see it. Others may not see it, maybe not consciously, but my experience reflects that clearly, because I'm still here. And I don't mean physically. Bitch, I'm broke. I paid 3 months on my rent up front, but I ain't paid my electric. My phone is off, nigga. Like, my fridge been empty. I've been working with niggas on their music and shit, and, working on whatever it is that they give a fuck about in exchange for food, nigga. The whole time these niggas taking advantage. And it's like, nigga, for real, I never needed you. I could have did it on my own, but I wasn't willing to do the work because I didn't see the value in it. And now that, niggas done dried me out, done dried out the well, it's like, damn, well, I can't rely on niggas no more. I gotta do it on my own. That being said, I'm pretty solid within myself. I'm pretty confident in myself. I do love my life and the life that I'm living. I'm just going through a phase of frustration, and talking through it really has helped me just now. And hopefully this does something for you. But I'm ready to go home and get to work. And home is where the heart is. So here we go.